Good morning, everybody. Morning, chat. Welcome to another episode of Burning Crowns. I'm Eric, your game master. Hope you guys are doing well and ready to fight for what you believe. As always, Ronald /8 slash.
I'm glad you caught on me, Eric. I could talk about the Helios cluster, or about how my mom was in the hospital, but she's out now and she's fine, or how burning bread is finally over. But what I'm going to talk about instead is a motherfucker named EricVulgaris. My boy is like a snake. All right? Here I am checking out Reddit RPG, and some guy's like, how does Burning Wheel Duel of Wits play? Whee, it's $2 random. Eric's like, actually, let me link you to one of the best Duel of Wits I've ever seen. And someone came in and was like, I don't know, your group seems to be really confused about it. And then like he's like 5 seconds later, he's like, actually, I'm getting kind of into it. And then like another 5 seconds later, he's like, you know what? I subscribed to your channel, and now I'm watching all the backlog of Burning Crowns. And I'm like, fucking snake, EricVulgaris, poised to spring. Spring, motherfucker.
To be fair, I linked him, for the record, I linked him to episode 14.
14.2, yeah.
14 is the episode when we see the passion of the Demetrius. I don't know what we should call that. The passion.
It's when Demetrius had his prison debate and ended up causing a fucking riot.
Yeah, but yeah, he
Good times.
It's the decision to proceed with being arrested, causing the riot in the prison, and then getting hanged. That's a fuck.
Beautiful.
So I just wanna say thank you to Wolfish EU.
Yeah.
For joining the stream. What I did is I started going from episode 14.2 forward in all the episodes. So sorry about that, Eric. You would have gotten a view on each of them from me, but it would only be a second long as I went to check the comment section and see what people said about them.
I see that complaint. He had a very valid complaint, and I see it levied across Burning Wheel all the time. We even saw it ourselves, that role playing somehow it should be immune to mechanics.
That's some bullshit, right?
I
there.
mean, Mistborn does it really good.
Yeah, the idea that it's like, well, okay, then if I read a book and practice HEMA, then should I get a bonus to my rolls? For attacking and stuff. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. And it really it's I think it's because it brings up the floor by stopping by bringing having a ceiling, right? Like it equalizes people who may not be that strong to play stronger characters socially.
When it comes to those subsystems specifically, when I was reading, I actually read through that same Reddit thread. And when I was reading through it, I was reminded by something Luke writes in the Codex, which is like, a complaint that people levy at me about these subsystems is like, they're really complicated. And he's like, yeah, like I like complex involved systems. That's why I made them easy to not use if you don't like those.
Yeah.
Like, I like that fight is super involved and takes a little while, and it's like very blow by blow, because that's why I designed it like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, those systems are definitely pretty involved. I think it's hard to argue that.
Yeah, and that's why you don't whip them out of the gun cabinet until you're ready, right?
Right. Yeah.
The
absolutely.
notion that role playing should be exempt from the mechanics. I mean, I feel like this is symptomatic of role playing game development over time, where we can clearly see that role playing games started out being developed from battle board games.
Yeah.
And then, in the golden age of role-playing games, surrounded games that were tactical board games, fight. Lots of mechanics for fighting and no mechanics for social interaction at all. And then, later on, it diversified and started spreading out. Yeah. And that's also one of the best moments I had reading this book was when I realized that you could resolve the most complex, most involved combat in a single test. You're just yeah, so we do this, and this is very complicated, and he does this, and that is very complicated, and there's all these circumstances surrounding it. Okay, you roll sword, he rolls sword. Let's see who wins this.
This is genuinely probably the hardest part about understanding Burn. You could do a combat, but based on your intentions, your combat, if you're doing a war, it could be a series of swords tests, right? And clashings of different groups in different parts. or it could be a soldiering test to do more about the prep, and whoever had the best prep wins the day. Or it could just be literally just accounting. And if you're some Dune world emperor who cares about a civil war on another planet, and it's like, no, just roll accounting.
Yeah, I'd actually like to step in here. I need to refute something that Daniel said. If this was Haikyuu, the volleyball anime, this would be where he goes for a shot and I slam it back over the fucking net. Daniel would have you all believe, my friends, the lie that in the beginning all role-playing games evolved out of tabletop miniature wargaming. But let me hit you with one word about a game that evolved out of nothing. That began with social interaction mechanics and has absolutely nothing to do with the fucking board game, motherfucker. It's called Pendragon. It's one of the 4 pillars. So fuck yourself, Daniel.
No, you're absolutely right.
You can talk about D&D all you want. You can talk about Warhammer and all the other shit. Pendragon will lift you up into the world of social interaction so you can throw all your clothes off and run into the woods screaming like a little baby.
Praise Arthur! No, but... No, honestly, and I'm totally with you there, right? That's a game that definitely existed, but it's just not, it's just so unrecognized, right? It's become better because...
you better recognize.
Yeah. No, it's really great to watch Luke play Pendragon.
Yeah, so let me tell you something.
Him playing Pendragon, it's like,
if you think Pendragon
he likes this shit,
isn't a recognizable show, you can't just watch roleplay Pendragon. You can now watch Silent Osiris, Stephen Lumpkin's Pendragon game with, a bunch of nobodies and Luke Crane.
Yeah.
With someone and Luke Crane. That's true.
That's right, motherfuckers.
I mean, it's a great game.
And actually, Silden's on that show, too.
Straight up, though, the real sleeper of that show is Kira.
She's really good.
She's really, really good. And you don't... See, what we don't see is that Kira's one of those types of people who does all of the work on the back end of so many games that you don't see. Like, her name is in a bunch of books. Everyone knows who she is, but also doesn't know who she is.
I don't know who she is.
You know what I mean?
And I watched the show.
Yeah. It's like but if you are I don't know, it's really hard. It's like she lives in this weird she's a shadow runner, right? And if you don't know if you don't need a need for a shadow runner, you don't know her rep.
Listen, I don't think you can compare an RPG editor to a person with a katana and a submachine gun for a living.
I think you can make that comparison very
no. I'm gonna keep making these no's sound like I'm like an engine because she is one of probably the most preeminent scholarly experts of cyberpunk as far as genre goes.
That's great. When I see her kill a man on the show, literally with a sword.
What?
Okay.
I will believe that she is fucking Shadowrun.
Yeah, I mean that's completely fair. But no, seriously, she does a lot of work with cyberpunk games. And if you ever had a cyberpunk idea, reach out to her on Twitter and hey, here's what I'm thinking, any ideas, and she will help you. She's amazing.
You're trying to say that she's secretly the webmaster of the Tumblr page. Is this cyberpunk?
She's actually an AI, right? She's actually she's a broken segment of an AI personality.
Nice.
No, okay. So, anyways, damn, what's up? Been a while.
That's right. We were doing intros.
We were doing intros. we were actually doing intros because I was like, man, I'm gonna quickly do intros and we can jump into it.
Well, I'll go quick then. I'm not doing much other than this and also playing Uncharted World on Swargula's channel on Tuesdays. But that's getting started. It's been going good, and I play a country cowboy type, which is fun. But yeah, I'm excited to get back into the politics. I missed this last week.
Yeah, me too. And
hi everyone. What have I been doing? Chilling for the first time in a long time. We're really winding down. I channeled Count Ronald Swan recently. I went up to defend my dissertation.
Oh.
I am now a Master of Science. So I passed that. Thank you. I just
Ronald
barely. just barely scraped by, right? Because I knew the report was not sufficient, and I could feel it. I was like, I looked it over. I was like, yeah, you made it, but that's not the best you've done, sir. Like, you could have done that way better. And as I went up to defend it, I could as part of the conversation we had, it became very obvious. Like, yes, that was the case. And I had this sense that I wasn't gonna pass. So I was looking desperately for any moment, any second, any opening to be like, no, I need to like really go in and like hit you hard. And then my sensor was like, I don't remember what he said, right? And it's not important, but he made a point about like the thing you have written here is essentially like just an observation about how this subject works in general. And I saw the opening. I was like, I immediately channel conference was like, no, sir. Now, let me enlighten you, old man, about your old dusty ways, and let me tell you about this new and awesome worldview that I will bring to you that will totally blow your mind. And I went completely ham with it, and once I was done, I was like, he's either hating this or I caught him. And he was like, And I got it like
I like
that.
how you did the Count Rumble Swan, too, right there. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's the moment I passed that. So right now I'm done with that. It's like chapter of my life done, and now I have no clue what to do. I'm just like, okay, moving forward, I guess.
Wow, you
Doctorate.
you earned a deeds point.
yeah.
You are
Deed
now a
point.
Doctor mate.
Dr. Daniel.
No, you got your master's, right?
Oh yeah.
Master's. Now you work on your doctorate.
Yeah.
That'll give you time to think up what you're going to do after you get a piece of sheepskin.
Right.
Sounds right.
Cool. All right. Let's play some games, right? That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Hell yeah.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about our belief. Our first. I'm gonna try something new today. On Roll20, I'm gonna try to give us like this like part 1 scene of like different things and kind of give a description, a little bit of what's going on. So if people were just jumping in, they have a little bit of text. I also copied the I didn't copy all of them, but most of the big clocks that were going on. Recently, with the person who clocks, I forget who it is, but it's look up something about Blades in the Dark supplements. Find them. They like these clocks because they're very stained glassy.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah,
pieces
those
of
are
artwork
sick.
in that on that page? Yeah, that's
not the artwork.
insane.
Well, the artwork's also that's done by AP's. It wasn't Equimag.
What you talking about?
Who made the
Who made our portraits?
watercolors?
Rad made the portrait
Rad.
that I have on my personal character, and the watercolors was done by Pugs Please.
Oh, Pugs,
That
please.
you can
Thank
find on
Pugs.
Twitter and Twitch.
Pugs, awesome.
She also sent me a smiley face in the envelope that all of the characters came in. I was pretty happy with that. Sometimes people just give you that little extra.
Those
like when you're at
glass.
Chipotle and you order like, whatever, and they're supposed to give you 2 scoops, but they give you 2.5.
Sometimes you go to Chipotle and you get free guac.
Sometimes people are unabashedly awesome.
Yeah, they give you the eye as they give you like that little extra scoop.
I see. Because you said because the person in front of you was super rude, and all you had said was like, "Thank you." No, thank you. That's all, please.
There you go.
Anyways,
Karma.
Let's go ahead and talk about our beliefs. I linked the belief document in chat. So open Google Docs. It's our rough and tumble where we type up really. Go ahead and. Do we know who wants to do any kind of like session minute? Because I wanted to explore the idea of doing if somebody does minutes, they earn persona, right? And basically they will all that means is when I write up like part 1 scene 1 up here at the top, and you just write the description and then maybe a little bit of like a sentence or two about what ends up happening, just so we can kind of keep a good kind of account of
I can try to do
for people coming into the game. I want to have a look at supplements, and you earn persona for it.
I can do a little mouse guard style recap, but I may need a little bit of help from my friends per se.
Oh no, not a previously on.
Just for next time.
At the end of the
Gotcha.
session.
Yeah, I'll do it this week. Not a problem.
So it's less the saying the previously on. Right, he made documented.
Yeah, I can do that.
So at the end, we have a little meeting minute. If we're like a boardroom, we're talking about the Nasdaq and our shareholder value, and charts and accounts, a Coleridge account. So, anyways, let's go ahead.
The burning account.
The crane account. That's the only account. Let's do beliefs. Ron Swan.
Oh, I would. I'd like to start out with my power play belief. You see, some people have been telling me you can't earn the chosen one trait if you don't talk about how chosen one you are. And was it last week where people questioned how much I actually believed that I was the chosen one? So this is my giant middle finger to all of those people. Mason's poisonous ideology has swayed my closest ally. I assume out of ignorance rather than malice, but it cannot be ignored. Mason will be set back towards the path of understanding. I am the chosen one, and whatever I do is righteous. My plan for financial revolution and infrastructure building throughout the land of Brevoy will pass with overwhelming success in the Citadel chambers. To secure public opinion, I must secure the public. It's time to hire up all free bards, troubadours, troborites, and alehouse performers to sing my praises and spread news according to my agenda. I am responsible to the people. I have a new instinct, by the way. I always assumed Demetrius will back my plans. I haven't changed it yet, but it's now always assume Aurelius is undergoing a crisis of faith.
Edit that. That's so good. That's super good. I should have given you
the shade.
So much shade.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Like, just.
You mean he had it in him to do it? Yeah, the gumption.
No, I just didn't know that you could you were able to cast a physical lack of light. I didn't know that was a thing you could do.
Yeah, it's a spell I've been working on for some time.
Are you
after a witch cursed my inability? No. So here's what happened. I discovered real magic, just like they try to teach you in Jack Chick's Darkest Dungeons. After I found out that I have a curse where I can't take good-looking pictures of food, I went to study under the greatest masters and eventually learn how to cast shade at people.
Well done.
Go check some of those pictures of food I've taken. I'm like, this is great food. It looks awesome. I take a picture of it. I'm like, that looks like garbage soup.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Which is weird because it's a chicken curry dish and there's no soup involved.
It's unsurprising. All I do is try to make sure that Ronald Swan is in the best possible position, and all he does is just throw insults at me.
You don't even know about this insult. It's not even an insult. You're the one that's like, in order to have faith, it must be tested. And I'm like, no, the whole point of faith is that it's never tested. Never. You always believe it. Never question it.
Right.
Oh, good times.
Let's just go in order. Sam, what is Sulius
Aurelius? So
/ Demetrius Sertova.
Yes. So the first belief is going to be my statement of faith again. So it starts: only the strong wall shelters humanity from the storm. Long-term solutions take time to bring about. While our financial plan begins to gain steam, I must put my skills to work healing the sick. One must do all they can with their own hands before beseeching the Lord for help. And this is kind of in reaction to Aurelius realizing a bit of the hypocrisy behind him, like always like sort of doing things for the rich and like doing things behind closed doors and not going out and helping people.
Hell yeah.
Belief number 2 is a path unseen cannot be followed. Perhaps Mason is right that Swan is on the path to ruin, not salvation. Swan, Mason, and myself must come to an agreement on the proper way forward, and we must do so now. And then belief 3 is the same. Time for the gold of this. The Lord of Keys did not lock all of creation in his great vault to miser it away, but rather to protect it. It is time for the gold of his church to go to use, preparing in earnest for the end. I shall found a holy order of warriors who shall be the wall against the storm. If Sir Zidomir will have the honor, he shall be its founding member, first of the Order of the Strong Wall. And then instincts have not changed.
Okay.
Good stuff. So yeah, I feel like the odd one out because I'm the only one who doesn't have a belief about this little three-way of ours. Yeah, so Mason has a clear opinion on this matter, but not a belief opinion. So my first belief is, for a worthy ruler to sit on the dragon scale throne, I must discover the secret of the vanishing. I will find out why Yavan uncovered up the death of the last of Charles' dragons. My second belief is, Swan deserves a chance to set Natala down the righteous path, so I shall not accuse her yet. But Noleski must be protected from his sister. I hope he is wise enough to heed the counsel of wizards. And my third belief, by secret my craft, by virtue my path. There is yet enough fire in the hearts of men to steer a course over dark seas. I must start rallying those who would defy the tyrannous stars. My instincts are always accept a worthy task, always lash out before backing down, and always draw maps of new places I go.
Perfect. So where I want to begin, I think we ended last week with Mason.
With the three of us shouting at each other.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no, that's
where we
right. At
ended.
the fourth wall. All right. I'm gonna give it to Swan.
Yeah, we never resolved that argument.
Oh, so maybe we should just want to return to that immediately, or should we just kind of let it go and ignore it and
No. We need to have this right now. So Swan has been listening to what he assumes is treasonous attempts to be like, it's not Swan is the chosen one. It's that if he's going to be the chosen one, we need to make him act more chosen-y. And he's just like, no, Mason, you're completely incorrect about this entire situation. You continue to accuse me of treason when, in fact, the good book itself guides my actions. I am the chosen one in so many ways, far more than you can see. And if you would continue to consider yourself a wise woman and a great master, perhaps you should pay some attention to what's in this. And I hold up my copy.
I gesture at you like aggressively, and I say, "You're right. I don't see it. Maybe that's the problem. Problem is your actions speak of a lack of moral character. Also, your treachery is a matter of law, not faith."
All right. I assume at this point we're pushing chairs back so we can have a dance circle.
Hell yeah.
As
this is a common occurrence at the fourth
George
wall.
Washington begins laying out the scene for us. He MCs.
boom. Yeah. Okay. Right. Issue on the table.
Yeah, the issue on the table. I think we're Duel of Witsing.
Yeah, I think now's the time.
I mean, we've been talking about it for a while.
Now's the time.
Yeah.
The time is now.
Let's do it. Let's throw down.
The duel. It's time to do. So, who wants the left side and who wants the right? So
I'll take the left.
I still haven't decided who I want to help yet, or if I'm going to help both of them. So,
I believe we had it so you not going to help me. If that was an if I recall correct. The last session.
So what the Mason's intent, and Daniel, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Mason's intent was that I see that everything that like just because Swan does something doesn't make it righteous.
Yes, it was about like recognizing that there is a standard he needs to be held to, right?
Right. So unless that's the only argument, like unless that's your entire body of argument, I am not bound to necessarily support you, right?
Yeah.
But if that is your entire statement of argument, then I absolutely am. Like if that's all that you're trying to convince him of here.
Yeah, I don't think there's much more to it than that. I could be overly complicated with it, but I don't feel like that would aid any of us.
I like how easy this game is to GM. I thought it's literally just stay out of it.
So I think my statement of purpose is if I win this, Swan will cease his treachery, right? He doesn't have to stop having his ambition or anything. He just has to stop being a traitor.
Defined as what does that mean?
Basically not undertaking treachery acts, like literally and legally treachery acts. So like don't fuck with your liege house that you are sworn to loyalty to,
yeah.
And don't fuck with the crown because I count high treason as also treason. So those are the two, right? Like if you have to do this, don't do it treasonously. Like go about it honorably. So if I win this, you will cease your treason, your treachery, and you will. I don't want to speak to your. Entire method of pursuing what you do in life forward. So I just want to say that you need to conquer the Mannings honorably.
You conquer the Mannings. You're the general. My statement of purpose is. My stance is correct and moral. It is the law that suffers without Abadar's hand upon it. Mason should look into the good book to confirm my thoughts.
So what is it you want? Because I don't get that from that.
I want you to read this book and be like, that's right. The gods did say this shit, and it's the law that's wrong.
Is your intent that is what you get from this that I read the book and form my own opinion, or are you like, you will read the book and regardless of what you think, you will...
Listen, I already know I can't change your beliefs. You read the book and you come up with your own opinion. And if it's wrong, we'll talk.
So you're
if it's right, then we're fine.
You're convincing him to read this book?
To read the book.
Okay.
So I want to put this on you, AP. I mean, bro, you could ask for so much more.
I could.
Mason has already read their Bible, right? So them picking it up and reading it again is not going to do much to twist their worldview. Like you could lay into me here, and really ask for me to do. Do you want Mason to do anything? Because you could ask them.
Keep asking me if I want Mason to do anything. What I want you to do is read the book. These very specific chapters that confirm my beliefs about these things. I want you to get there and just. Maybe meditate, maybe fast a little while, read the book, and maybe be like, am I wrong? I don't know. Nico and Vince made a really good song about it. Maybe I'll listen to it while I'm right here.
So it sounds like what you want is for her to consider that she's wrong.
Yes, that's a good one.
Cool. I'll take that.
So
I'll accept that.
I know it's hard for wizards to consider such a thing.
No, I'm totally with it there. So again, so just put a point on it. Typically, unless we agree to it, that falls outside the purview. But I'm totally on board with this, right? Like Mason having doubts, I am in. I'm totally in on that.
Before we start rolling dice, do we as a group feel like I am obligated to help Mason in this duel of wits based on that last? Okay, I just want to make sure before I start helping whatever side.
I would say I don't hold you to it.
Okay, I mean, if Eric does, that's. Also, I just want to make sure that,
No, I don't
that's not how that roll we made last week is perceived. Cool.
Do we all see the Duel of Wits on screen?
Yep.
Oh, you actually, I don't think you can take us to stuff anymore because you gave us GM permission. So now we have to take ourselves there. But
are you okay with my statement of purpose, AP?
Yeah. I mean, we've already talked about how if I absolutely lose, we can go in that direction.
Sure. So,
if on the offhand chance you were somehow to completely defeat me without any compromise,
right? Exactly.
Do you hope this to be a big deal?
I mean, it does seem to be a big deal to me, if only because I'm his patience, Swan's patience with the two of you is completely snapped at this point. You've constantly been like, stop it with the girlfriend, and now you're like, maybe you're not the chosen one. Maybe you need to take more righteous path. And he's like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm about to destroy you.
Cool, I take it. So, and there's a point here to be made that a thing can be a big deal for one character and not for another.
Exactly.
I know.
So I will just roll my body of argument, and AP can just take his max.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Also,
so what? I get my will and my persuasion together, just no rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just added together.
Oh, and you don't? I didn't know that you could do that. But all right.
I didn't know you could do that either.
There's an example in the book about it.
Yeah.
About a guy wanting to sneak, like he works at a priory, and he's like, it's of complete vital interest that he sneaks out to go make out with his love and toss in the hay, while to the guy actually running the priory.
Yeah.
Like, no, just it's not.
Do
it's not
what
a
you
big,
need
no,
to do,
it's,
man.
It's not a big deal. It's just that you're supposed to stay.
Yeah. It's my job to say no, so I'm going to say no. I don't actually care. Well, Mason, I can't see this going well for you.
It could.
We're just gonna go full ham. Come on, let's let's throw ourselves in this grinder.
All right, cards are laid down. So go ahead and reveal the first volley.
Cool.
Challenge has been laid down.
Nice.
I'll enlarge the cards for kind of see.
Cool.
So point first for rebuttal. I believe point goes. No, it's oldest because rebuttal.
Point goes
higher.
first. Rebuttal always
point
counters
Well,
whatever.
No, I thought. Oh, rebuttal.
Rebuttal has to go second. It's literally
rebuttal
divide
is
your dice.
Rebuttal is his response to my point.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, I thought rebuttal was the one that gets split.
It is. It is.
does.
But it's I make my point and he makes a counterpoint to my point.
So
that's why it waits.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, but he splits his dice before.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Correct. Because he has to defend against. Oh yeah. So rebuttal. I was right, but I misinterpreted. So point first for rebuttal is that rebuttal has to split their dice, and because you have to defend against their point, but also basically stab in a secondary counter. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. So let's talk about this.
So AP splits his dice and then we go.
Let's do it.
I'd actually want to hear his argument before I split.
Yeah, we need to.
I want to know how much I might believe in this.
So the scene, we're still in the fourth wall. The fourth wall isn't actually open yet, right?
It's pretty close to getting opened
yeah,
up.
It's getting
got
close,
zoned.
right? Yeah. I mean, it's you're just like putting on the finishing touches and whatnot. And so,
but this was late at night. This was taking place late at night.
This is
very
super
late
at night. You've had
We're the only people here, except maybe Zydamir's in a corner, and no one gives a shit.
Just drinking.
Yeah, you guys you had an exhausting day of meetings and formalities, and things have really started to boil over at this point after a few rounds of drinks from your fine election here before. The chairs have been pushed back. You guys have been arguing, and now things are going to get.
I think Demetrius is the only one who's drinking alcohol. I'm drinking juice.
You guys, okay, sure.
Okay.
So I'll start this. I'll start this show out. So Mason like walks around the table and like gets up in your business, like because now we're having a duel of wits. And I look at you and I say, look, I don't comprehend how you can think the way you do.
Well, that's completely unsurprising given what I'm seeing from you.
You model yourself after great people, yet you deny the works that they create. That's my point.
All right. Sorry, I was trying to rapier wit you, where I introduce a searing bon mot for bonus dice.
Yeah, I
have to interrupt.
Yep.
I saw your attempt.
I want those +2 dice, bro. Want those +2 dice. And this is a rebuttal attempt as well. So if I get those dice and I fail, I'm in a very, very bad place. Sorry, what was the crux of your argument?
That you model yourself after great people, like an example, right? Like this harkens back to you like talking about early on, right, in our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But yet you defy the order that they laid down.
Your point is completely unfounded. I don't model myself after great people. That's ridiculous. I model my image after great people. You see me here right now. What I do is be great. And I want to make Brevoy great again. And I don't understand why you don't want to do it too.
Cool.
These ridiculous, treasonous accusations are a complete waste of everyone's time.
Cool. I dig it. Let's roll.
All right. I need to divide my pool first.
Yeah.
So are you jumping in to help somebody?
Yeah, I think I should help someone here because like Aurelius is not really the type to just sort of stand here and he's been got kind of heated in this argument as well. So he will say to Count Swan, he will say, Your Radiance, I would not claim that you are like another, for surely you are chosen by a higher power in a way that few throughout history ever have been. However, I worry that the freedom and the free will that the gods have given you can cloud your judgment like the judgment of all mortal men. I merely want to make sure that we are on the right path together. And I would like to help with probably suasion for that.
That's such a nice way of being like, dude, don't let this go to your head.
That's
such a nice way of putting that.
Compliment.
I know, that's such a beautiful backhanded compliment. That's exactly what that was. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so maybe I think either like religious history or suasion would be what I'm helping with there.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm using rhetoric.
Who are you helping? It sounds like you're helping Mason.
I was helping Mason. That's what I meant.
He was helping
that's what
Mason.
it sounded
He was
like.
addressing. Yeah, he was addressing to you, but he was helping, as we saw.
And I guess I'll help with religious history because
I would allow that.
Cool.
Whoops.
I'm obviously using persuasion, and I would like to fork.
That show up.
I clicked it because I expected there to be a different button.
Mind if I close it out?
Yes.
I want to fork haggling because apparently that's just an open fork for persuasion. Courtwise and command.
Nice. What's your suasion at, Sam?
7.
Cool. I'll take 2 dice.
I have 12.
Oh yeah, I'll help you with suasion instead of religious history so that you can get to 2.
How many dice are you looking at?
I'm throwing 8 dice.
All right, I'm gonna split 10 defense and 2 attack.
Cool.
Nice.
Right. Point. You roll at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, there we go.
4.
And I was on defense.
Yes.
Boom. Fully defend.
Then you're to attack.
All right.
You're halving that though, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, so I completely demolish that. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't get a bonus though.
I know.
Yeah, but you are, and correct me if I'm wrong. In a duel of wits, you don't mark learning a skill for all the skills you test in a duel?
No, it's just the best test.
Yeah.
This falls under the rule called series of tests.
Yeah.
The most difficult test we do with any unique skill is what we mark at the end of this.
Yes, thank you. Okay, that's just what I was making sure.
Cool. So you don't do any damage to me. I don't do any damage to you.
Yep,
cool.
Those are 2 fails.
I told you I'd try to extend this one out a little longer than normal.
Hell yeah.
Are you playing with your meal there, Cat?
That's why I went with rebuttal again.
Oh, okay.
What you got? Ha ha! Right into my trap.
Oh yeah.
I don't think this is a duel of wits that Mason's intending to win.
I mean, Mason's just like, all right, listen, I need some will bonuses real quick. Let me just
Exactly what he's doing.
He didn't
I'm
get
looking to
anything
get Will
for that
7
last
by
one,
the end of
though.
the day.
He didn't get anything for the last one, though. Got that rhetoric test instead.
Okay.
Don't
So,
worry, we got a long way to go.
So you just want to be great was the last point you made. Okay. So yeah. So I pointed an accusatory finger at you, and I'm like, you want to be great while you commit treason, while you base yourself lower than your sister, who you hold such contempt for. Yet she is much greater and much more benign, much more moral and upstanding a person than you are if you go through with this.
Did you actually meet my sister when she was cutting people's limbs off and torturing them?
Oh, no, not that.
Yes, I did.
All right, and now I need to do a rebuttal again. All right, let's see here. You believe that this will somehow reduce me beneath the status of an exile who is houseless and nameless. Ridiculous. As you can see here from these texts, in the good book, the Book of Constitution, verse 19, women have equal status to men. Look at the ridiculousness of our inheritance laws. How Byzantine a path that one must take. Should not the firstborn, the oldest, the most worthiest, be the one that takes power? And yet you call this treason when even a god places his servants on this world in places of power.
Nice.
So this time Aurelius is going to come in on the side of Count Swan, and he's going to say, he like turns I'm imagining it's like he's like standing next to Mason and then like hears what she's saying and then like turns and like looks at her and is just like, Mason, I would have you watch what you say to his radiance. You are here in an advisory capacity, and we appreciate the freeness of your tongue, but these insults you are taking too far. Advice is one thing, but insults to his person is beyond what can be borne.
Cool.
And I don't even honestly know what I'm helping with here. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
So highly outranked.
I want to
you're fucking backhanding compliments. Like you're literally ref. You're mediating this.
So I no, Mason doesn't break from the conversation. Their head does snap sideways, and they're like, "This is not a matter of insult. He will actually do this." And then I look back to Swan.
I have a question. Rebuttal lists oratory as a skill you can use, but I don't know if it's appropriate here.
There's not enough people.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't have extortion or interrogation. I certainly don't have Centaurus debate, so I guess I'm just badmintoning with the persuasion again.
Badly, I want to play Burning Wheel and just short skill for him.
You could also try to open one of those skills, though, right? If you just want to roll your will.
No, that's ridiculous. I'm going to roll my will later when I do an avoid.
You could be right if you pay me. That's my rebuttal.
I tried to help you with that, buddy, with the lawyer game. All right, how many dice are you rolling? I was supposed to.
Sorry, I did something bad. I rolled before you.
All right.
So just ignore that roll.
I mean, I have a shit ton of dice again. I mean, I'm gonna fork all the same, so I have 12 dice, and I'll just do 10 and 2 again, to keep it fair. Although I really should take some out of the defense and put it into attack. Let's see here.
10 and 2. Now I'll roll my attack.
Oh wait, you helped me, right?
As you actually have an additional.
So I'll do 10 and 3.
Mason already rolled.
All right. I mean, I completely crush it because he's halved, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I don't even need to use fate, so I'm not going to bother. So I demolish your incoming argument and hit you back for 1.
Yep.
Right.
Body of argument goes down by 1. It's 8 out of 9.
Yeah, got it.
Cool. Third volley.
I'm curious as to what you scripted. A dismiss. Good luck.
Come at me, bro.
You come at me. You come at me.
Oh man.
I scripted in Insight, which is going to be really, really hard for me.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Yeah, we're in dangerous game territory right here.
Yeah, this is standard test versus standard test.
Yep.
So you just roll your Insight. If you succeed, I don't get my next action. If I succeed, then I get damage you, which is interesting because if I don't demolish you now, I lose my next action anyway.
I was going to ask
also
about that.
lose my next action, don't I? If I fail?
They get advantage on the
if
next
the Insight
test.
fails, margin of failure is advantage. Okay. Yeah,
so here's the question though: Does the taking away of does the hesitation does it stack?
Next action?
No.
Does it? No. Okay.
I've been kind of afraid to step in and give Mason any sort of advantage to that because I'm not sure. Because I mean, there is something to say that you are right about this being treason, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the same time, though, I totally don't want to dismiss your ability to be fighting against the idea that this isn't treason. Right?
Yeah, and so
I don't want to give you an advantage, but you could also make a case that there's
the fact that this is treason is not in contention, although Swan brings it up as a point. It's not included in the body of argument, right? So there is no validity to it's treason whether or not we agree or disagree on it. It's still gonna be treason. But
you're trying to just convince him to take a different path.
Yes, and what would happen is I would have forked rule of law to give me an advantage if I had any skills to use, but I can't because I'm just throwing will at it.
Yes.
Here's a question though. What skill were you using? Because that was definitely not rhetoric.
Before?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed a little too aggressive to be really rhetoric or persuasion.
I feel like that was rhetoric. Because I'm laying the idea out there that by doing this, you become worse than your sister.
Sure.
And now I dismiss you. What is first, dismiss or Insight? I feel like...
it doesn't really matter because Insight that takes effect on the next action anyway.
I get. I just want to respect the order of operations.
I think it probably at the same time.
Yeah, I think they actually trigger.
A point. So let's go with whoever's
oldest. Whoever's oldest, exactly.
Yeah. Who's oldest? Mason is 20.
I'm much older than you. I'm 31 or 32.
So the insight triggers first.
Cool.
Let me just make sure. Yeah, I'm old as shit.
Insult the fuck out.
31.
Come at me.
Mason, I'm getting extremely tired of this situation with you. Some low-born peasant thinks that they know as much as a count about the legality of matters. You think you know as much as the chosen one about the gravity of the morality here. I will not listen to this ridiculousness any longer. You will be silent.
I will not be silent. Yes, I know more about the legality of this than you do, for you make no argument that dissuades me that you don't. You make every argument as though you have no grasp on the law, no grasp on morality, and that I would know better than the chosen, I cannot say, for I do not see him here.
Wow.
I'm going to look at Mason again and say, Mason, I fear in this your ambition is overstepping its bounds. I fear that you are making claims that you cannot back up. Be careful of what you speak, for these are not matters for sorceress. These are not matters for a mage. These are matters for a prophet.
Cool.
And I am helping AP with Ambitionalize.
Nice. I am going to throw...
Pretty fair.
I feel like what I was doing was ugly truth.
Good luck. I'm doing command.
I don't feel like that.
And I want to fork oratory, peasant-wise, court-wise, Lord Wise and Noble Wise.
So keep in mind that with Ugly Truth, since it is
I don't feel like it's Ugly Truth because
okay.
Yeah. No.
What are you gonna say it is then? Rhetoric again?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm moving out of that sphere right now. It would be cool to earn tests for different skills, but I need to formulate my argument differently.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, it just seemed like this whole thing, you were just making a very, very well stated rhetoric argument.
What's your will?
My will is 6.
Oof.
That's going to be really hard because I only have 2 command dice. Fucking son of a bitch. How close did I get? Not even. But you know what? I will definitely fade.
I'll fade that roll too.
Oh, shit.
Holy hell! What?
That's good.
I am dealing you... What? 5 or 6 damage?
So it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and it's halved. Yeah, so 5.
5 damage.
Woof.
On an unopened skill.
But you
can't go again.
So you're like wrecked now, right?
Yeah, you hesitate during the
hesitate for the next. All right, so you take 5.
Well, that makes sense because this is like the culmination of your rhetoric, right?
Yeah.
And this is, and then it wasn't the coup de grace I think you expected it to be.
Correct.
And so, and now you're like,
shit.
Yeah, I'm shocked that he keeps talking. So I'm just like, what?
Wait, I thought this was done now.
Right,
yeah.
like so here's what's going on now. Like if this is like a Reddit post, this is like you like breaking down the line by line thing and just keeps going. Like people just keep arguing and just you're like you have to keep expanding the fucking thread now because it's just so overwhelming and okay. Anyways, all right, let's clear out the cards and let's deal with some new ones and let's keep going. That was good.
Yeah,
that's really good. All right.
Oh, by the way, AP, real quick, I'm gonna just letting you know, I'm modifying your 7 up here. I'm just gonna put 7 out of 12. Is what
that makes sense.
Just so we can keep track. Oh, I'm actually gonna do what Mason's doing because that's dope as fuck. I'm gonna put 12 at the top and your current at the bottom of the circle. Thank you, Mason. That's such a good idea.
You're welcome, Eric. I didn't know you existed.
So smart. Okay. All right, volleys. We both have set up our cards now, so let's reveal the next round. Has anything changed? Has anything changed in the place in the fourth wall?
Swan's getting mad AF right now. He's steaming.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of shouting going on, and it's late at night, so the neighbors are probably like, what the fuck?
I feel like there's probably like a group of people who wanted to go to the fourth wall or something, and then you hear the shouting, you're like, nope. No, I mean, you guys aren't even open.
It's definitely, we're making so much noise in here that people are like, oh, that bar must be open now.
Yeah. Right? Exactly.
Should we go in and as people approach, they get a sense of what, oh wait, they're really angry and they just pass it by. And
they're talking about treason and politics in this bar right now. They're like, oh, let's not go there.
They're screaming about treason.
So, stand and drool.
You think to talk to me about who the chosen one is. Treason. This is not treason, Mason, to follow the will of Abadar. Abadar specifically outlines in his contract with mankind not to follow uneducated, ridiculous, unenforceable, self-contradictory laws. How can a liege lord attack his subject and yet not be subject back to reprisals? Ridiculous, unenforceable, contradictory in every sense of the word. These Manning attacks go unanswered by me because I am attempting a different style of attack. But defend myself I shall, with my God behind me.
Cool. Come at me.
I'll help. let's see. How am I helping here? I am going to look at Mason, and I will say, Mason, you are lucky that we live in this era of the world. Many people in the Church of Abadar would disavow you for your magical powers. Myself and his Radiance, Count Swan, see differently, and we believe in bringing those of a sorceress nature into the fold. Do not squander this opportunity. Let your ambition raise you up. Do not let it tear you down.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm helping with ambition wise again, because I need the routine test, not the super challenging one that I got.
Right. I need to figure out how I want to do this. You're giving me 1 die then.
Yes.
All right,
yes.
and I'm going against a 6. Is it against your?
You're going against the 8.
Just...
You need to chop off.
Oh, I can't. So I can't get a test here. All right, that's fine. I was really hoping to get a persuasion test at some point.
Yeah, but it's just against nothing because you can't roll.
Well, then I would like to fork court-wise and noble-wise, and I'd also like to fork command, but that might be a little questionable. Eric, any thoughts? I was specifically talking about military matters, which is the only and to my general. So, all right, no, I'll leave it out.
I think it could go either way. I mean, there's definitely been a tone of command to like everything that Count Swan has been saying for the last couple of hours.
It's on the table. None of them. I will certainly fate that just for a little extra damage there.
Nice.
All right.
Cool.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Okay, we're down to 4.
Guys, I just got better at ambition wise.
Welcome to the Getting Better at crew.
All right.
Nailed it.
Shall we reveal the second Wally?
Indeed.
Okay, come on.
Oh.
Faint inside, eh? That's
I
good.
don't know what happens there.
Yeah, I don't.
Faint versus inside is a versus
test. Interesting.
And for me, it's a versus test. For you, it's a standard.
Interesting.
Wait.
So let's see.
No. For insight versus faint is versus.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's see what happens here. So
it looks like a versus test for both.
All right. So using the feint, the speaker leads his opponent to it. Yeah. Okay. And it can be used to bypass rebuttal and attack, feint, inside, and obfuscate. All right. I used to attack you. Okay. In a standard test, each success is subtracted from your opponents. In a versus, the margin of success subtracts from the opponents. Okay. So AP rolls to see if he can block my next argument. If I roll more than AP, my margin of success goes in as damage. And who speaks the part? I speak first, then AP speaks, then I speak.
Cool. But you'll also have to half your dice unless you've got a skill.
I say, oh yes, you are obviously so great and well informed. Tell me, I'm sure you would argue that because because Abadar says it so, naturally, all should abide. Yes.
This is me. It feels like you're inciting me right now, but here we go. Wow. I really don't see. I want to use intimidation, but I don't know how to do it. Oh, I got it. You think you know a thing or two about sorcery and generalship. Have I ever told you the story about how my house was formed? When the Swans came to this land in Chorgel's army, we were mage killers. We carry that tradition on proudly to this day.
Whoa.
Indeed, you do.
We may not be a big house, but we know exactly where to put the swords, Mason.
Yes, the swords will go. They will go through the heart of he who would hold the Bible higher than the king's law. You cannot hide behind the paper shield. It will not protect you from the wrath of those in power. Cool.
Let me see. Who should I help here?
Here's the thing. My intimidate's a being learned. His is being learned as well, right?
Yep.
It's just gonna be a huge fucking mess, basically.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hot fucking mess.
Okay, I'm going to, since I can help with being learned in this case, because you're using it, AP, I'm going to help AP with Ugly Truth. And I'm going to just look at Mason, and I'm going to say, Mason, your lack of knowledge on the subject of the Lord Abadar is very apparent. Please, stop making a fool of yourself in this.
Nice.
This is getting really, really personal.
Yeah, I know.
Here's the thing. Swan normally isn't very, he doesn't get personally insulting ever, even when he has the option to.
I know.
Except
you take the higher ground.
Yeah, but now he's very upset. All right.
Yeah.
So what am I rolling here? I have one helping die.
You're rolling an insight, just as you did last time.
What's the obstacle? Is your will?
6.
Yeah. Wow.
Wait, no, isn't it a versus test?
No, it's a versus for me. It's standard for him.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It definitely says versus on the card.
Yep.
It's versus. It's versus feint.
It's versus against feint.
Yeah, so I use feint versus insight, which means I make a versus test. He uses feint insight versus feint, which means that he uses a standard test.
I'm saying on the card it says Mason, insight versus feint is a versus test.
It's versus, yeah.
Yeah, the book says insight versus feint is standard.
Oh, well, okay. So the card is wrong.
Yeah, the card is wrong. Sorry, that's what we were discussing.
Yeah, I was so confused. I'm like, I'm looking at
this. I know. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's okay.
The book says insight versus feint is a versus. Under the opponent's action table.
So look at the.
I mean, literally look at your chart.
So that you have your action.
In my action, it literally only says if it is a standard test. That's what it says. This is not a standard test, though.
So look at your action. Your action is insight, and then what's my action? My action is feint.
Yeah, that says versus.
Mason's versus.
It is versus. I'm wrong. I got cross-eyed and looked at insight versus.
That makes this much easier because there's no way I was going to beat a 12. Not with this garbage rest roll. All right. If I fate this, it goes to my will?
Yes.
Then I will do that. My will could use a little bit of bolstering.
I'm bad. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Well,
happens to the best of us.
Okay, we'll let you off the hook this time.
I mean, it's clear that insight is really shittily written. Yeah. Because it only talks about if it's a standard.
Yeah, insight functions in this respect because of the interaction between standard and versus tests. So in this case, you fail to incite me, and me drawing you into that feint by getting you to talk about this matter, and then turning your sword, your sword threat against you, and being like, no, you will get straight up executed for this, inflicts you damage. So you take 1 or 2 points of damage.
Damn, you're rolling incredibly well, Mason.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's because my argument is sound.
I don't think that's how math works.
Hey, the dice are speaking. It is. It's true.
Yeah, it's 1 damage, I think.
Yep.
Wait, so you subtract 3, so I have 2 left over.
No,
so
it's up.
2 damage. 2
damage. You round up.
I took away 2.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Last round? Or last volley of the second round?
Yep.
Another dismiss. Avoid.
Nice.
Do I not get anything on shit?
You just straight up test will, but this is one case where you testing will, every success counts as a success instead of 2 counting as 1.
No, because he's vulnerable to dismisses.
Yep.
That is true, right? Because of this interaction. Yeah, so he gets nothing.
You get nothing. So what's your second dismissal now?
No, if you win against obfuscate, all dismiss subtractions are there. So I still get to test.
So when you avoid versus avoid has a dash interaction with dismiss.
Yeah.
You cannot avoid a dismiss. You cannot hide from the
that's right.
onslaught.
I'm sorry. I was doing avoid, not obfuscate.
Yeah.
That's what
So
it was.
you are. So you have to kind of just take whatever Mason says.
Okay.
All right. Mason like looks furious. They have the Miyazaki hair flutter, right? They're like,
Yeah.
and then like they take a breath and they seem to calm down. And there's like an eerie, okay, fine. Let me tell you. My knowledge of Abadar is insufficient. My knowledge of Abadar doesn't matter in this case. My knowledge of law is insufficient. My knowledge of law far outstrips the two of you combined. My knowledge of this situation is vast. I should not speak on this matter. You should consider yourself privileged to even hear my words spoken in your presence. I am one of the last masters, and I will not suffer this atrocity. You can turn traitor if you wish, but you will never again be noble.
Yeah. Fucking that's okay. Yeah. Well, let's see what those dice say.
I don't think
help?
I can help. I
Yeah,
don't think I
yeah.
can help Mason with this.
Yeah.
Wait, as soon as she started making like the arguments very like insult based, it becomes impossible. Like Demetrius Aurelius cannot help someone insult the prophet, like the chosen one, right?
That's
Cool.
No
You
fate.
take 2 more damage.
Yeah.
That isn't halved?
It is half.
No,
so
he halved it. He halved it
two.
already. He had 4 successes. He halved
Okay. Yep.
it. No
Okay.
sixes. Can't fade it.
He loses
That's
his
what it
first
is.
action again.
Yeah, I know. Kelso mentions how Eric's only job is to be a cheerleader. It's true. That's why I love GMing this game. Don't have to do anything.
That's how we go. That's how we roll. All right, let's do this.
It's one of the big goals of me doing this game. Fight for what you believe in. I would never, ever try to run this style of game in anything but Burning Wheel. Because of this reason. It would never work. It would just be so exhaustingly frustrating with everybody at the table if we didn't have some sort of framework for handling social combat.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready if you are.
Cards are down.
Mason, you gotta start
Still not
making
enough
some more
people for
diplomatic
order.
arguments so that I can help you.
So, alas, we have moved into a point where Mason is not being diplomatic. Mason is throwing out warnings at this point, right? And like, your future looks grim if you don't straighten the fuck out.
Yeah, you're scaring him straight, being like, you know what? You can continue believing what you want, but the cost of that is nobility.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
Right. I'm ready if you are.
Philadelphia. Yeah.
The crux of your argument, Mason, is a complete misunderstanding as to how power works. So allow me to enlighten you on what it is you're missing. The ability to swing a sword, to be a sack of meat, is useless. No one gives a shit. One day you may find yourself in a corner against 3 men with swords, and then what are you? You're dead. Power is the ability to persuade people to follow you. When they give you something, that is power. I have power. I have the responsibility for thousands of lives. Something you have never known. You have always had someone there to act as a net for you. Your master, your commanding general. You are nothing. You are adrift in a sea of power. You have hooked your star to mine. If you wish to leave, we will talk about this tomorrow. But for now, recognize.
Nice. All right, swing it.
Do you not want help?
I mean, do you want to help? I feel
wanna
like
put your-
you've got something you haven't used
Do you want to
yet.
stick your nose into that? I don't know if you want to stick your... Dude, that's... Okay.
No, actually I won't. I'll stay out of this round. Stay out of this round.
I feel like your chances to help, as an impartial they've yeah. Oh.
I'm gonna fork command, haggling, probably noble wise, lord wise, and court wise.
Haggling, because you're talking about.
I mean, persuasion has haggling listed as a fork.
Sure, but contextually, it's because you're also bringing in the idea of terminating the contract.
Very well,
right? I would buy that.
4 forks.
I would buy haggling for it.
I mean, me firing Mason is not a thing that concerns me. Mason leaving could happen. I don't have any reason.
No. I think I do help, and here's what I say. I think what I say is like this is when Aurelius hears Swan talk about like firing Mason, essentially terminating the contract. Like Aurelius looks a little bit more worried, and he looks earnestly at Mason and says, "Mason, don't do this.
It's so funny.
This is not the hill to die upon. We need you. Civilization needs you for what is to come."
This is just so weird because, like, I mean, as an aside, as a GM, like, if I was around Swan and I'm not, like, I would have went with a completely different approach. I would have been like, "You're fucking summoning a demon. Like, you're telling me I'm a traitor? Get the fuck out of here."
I want to point out from a certain point of view, that point of view being Swan's, that he has no idea that Mason's involved with that. Mason was just
you admitted to him.
No, you said a Chilaxian scientist was coming and was going to do it, and you would help them. Diablos. Yeah, Mason was never like, "I'm conjuring the dark arts right now. I'm fucking Voldemorting."
No, what I told you was that your waifu had engaged me to do that.
I remember you telling me that some sort of Diablos was.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
I also mentioned that.
But yeah, I'm trying to help with civilization wise. I want Mason to like see in earnest that this is about saving the world, man.
You want
saving all civilization needs him.
You want to make the argument that the way to save civilization is to completely abandon it.
I mean, my point is that this is not the hill to die on. Like, don't let this keep you from being there at the end. Keep you from being there on the wall.
Cool. The tree is sick, and he's grafting on a healthy branch to fix it. I'm not sure that's actually what happens. I'm not sure if that works, but I'm not an arborealist.
I mean,
arborist.
At Swan's point here, just to do a real quick discussion. Swan's point is the same one I made to you yesterday, Eric, about faux pas and how people accept things. Yeah. No one's going to give a shit if Swan wins. It's not treason if you're victorious.
Yeah.
If you get what you want and you don't care what the little people say, you win.
Exactly.
It's true.
I was really hoping to get a bunch of different tests. I scripted all these different actions, and these two motherfuckers played the fucking field, and I got one test. I got one test out of the whole goddamn thing. Eat a foul, my fucking
wow. Wait, what? Were you kidding me? Wait, what? Oh my god! Oh, look at all those ones!
Yeah. Not a single 6 to be found on 13 dice. I'm glad this wasn't a fucking resources test. Can't wait
I'll
for
take
chat.
The one damage.
Can't wait for fucking chat.
By the way, Kelsa, I see you in chat. Melodrama is great because it's like melons and drama, both of which are excellent. So, no.
Oh my god. You've rolled 13 dice.
Yeah. This shit happens to me, man. I don't even have to say 9 for 2 anymore. I could say 1 for 13.
Oh.
The dice have spoken! Ah!
I mean, the dice are about to speak as I unleash my next attack. My final attack. My secret technique I've been saving up.
There we go. Right. Dismiss versus dismiss.
It's my house's bloodline limit.
Right, throw him, AP. You have the right of seniority. You speak first.
I don't know. Can I bypass that to you?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think
okay.
that's just the flow of the duel.
All right. This is a waste of. Wait. Before I dismiss, I have to pick a test type.
I just had to tweet that out. Oh my god, it's so good.
All right. It's gonna be a command test for sure.
I mean, that's staggering, that roll.
How do I command dismiss you? I completely forgot I couldn't use persuasion here.
Whoops.
I made a huge mistake.
Oh, actually, no, I know how to do it. And either way, it'll be useful because of how low our argument dice are. Get out, General. Just get out. Get the fuck out. You want to take a different path with all of this? You want to take a more righteous and more noble path? Both of you will pay the consequences for this. The visions have shown me there is another path. Few, but it is there. But both of you will pay a price. So get the fuck out of my house.
Nice. And I look on you and I say, still like with the calm that has swept over me, this like burning calm.
Burning calm. Yeah, I don't know that that's a thing.
No, it's a game I'm running. Don't worry about it.
Icy calm, maybe.
So you say that and I say, I understand. Really, I do. I would not be in this position if I didn't consider myself your friend.
You wouldn't be in this position if I hadn't hired you and brought you up to here.
I shake my head at you like with like a sad weight, as if your words are meaningless.
Yeah, like you're just like you're patronizing him.
Yeah, they're patronizing you real good here. Like the only reason you're still alive at this very moment is because Paul Orlovsky considers me an ally and a friend. Had you spoken your vile treason in his presence without me there, he would have cut your legs out from under you, brought you to the square, and killed you in full view of the city. Your treason is known to many, yet I stand here, not because I wish to be associated with that vile scheme, but because I hope you can be made to see reason. You will die without me. I hope you will find the righteous path.
Yeah, I think Aurelius has to help Mason here, and he is going to help with soothing platitudes. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to look in the same way I kind of was pleading with Mason in the last volley. Same thing to Count Swan, and he will say, Your Radiance, please forget her insults, forget the nonsense, and see to the truth that lies at the core to her point. Do not burn this bridge. I will leave your presence if you insist, but please, we must be united on this front. Whoever is right, it does not matter. What matters is that we present a united face. Don't let me and Mason leave here tonight without letting this be resolved. Please.
Nice chasing your belief there. That's really tight. What are you helping me with?
Soothing platitudes. So it's just my will.
I'll take it. Right.
So this is a straight versus, right? When it's dismissed versus.
It's not versus. It's just opposed.
They just demolish each other.
Oh, it's independent.
Yeah. So Swan,
you only hit me for 2, and I hit you for 6. So get fucked.
There we go. Let's see if I can take you down fully. I mean,
can you spend persona?
No,
come at me. Come at me.
You would need 2 6s.
Do we see that? I don't think we see that because I don't think I want to win. Like this has gone down to the wire, like really seriously down to the wire. You win this. If I roll 2 successes now, we just stalemate, and I don't feel like I want a stalemate. I want this to fall one way or the other. You take this.
Oh my god! But he wins with 1 body of argument dice left.
Yeah.
So it should feel like a loss.
Here's my suggestion. is that you
Wow, guys.
you doubt yourself and maybe your interpretation of the religion, but in exchange, I'm gonna take us in a new path. I'm gonna move away from what you consider treason, and we're gonna go to the new land, and we're gonna form the holy city.
That's exactly what I was gonna suggest.
That's a good one. I'll take it, but I want to consider like some changes to it. So first of all, I want to know if you want me to propose a compromise, or do you want me to suggest an alteration to your statement of purpose? Because that is your decision to make as the winner. If I modify what you want, or I add more that I want.
I think the compromise works fine.
I think he's changing what he wants is what comes out of this, and I love that idea of, okay, you're right. We won't pursue that way.
Yeah.
I will get my greatness and stuff another way by a new kingdom.
Forget the Mannings we'll forget the Mannings for now.
Yeah,
I'm glad you added for now, because I'm not forgetting.
Yeah,
them.
of course. But like you will gain legitimacy and primacy a different way. You will be the eighth Duke, right? You know, and something like that. Like you're taking the different path, which I'm kind of got a little bit of shivers, thinking about how well that fucking worked out, and I didn't have to do anything, so that's really good.
I feel like so what I say in making this compromise with you is, what I say to you is, and I hang my head for a moment, and I seem to think, I rub my temples, and I look up at you with sadness in my face, but also like kind of a renewed, like what seems to be like the glimmer of maybe a new understanding. And I look at you and I say, it's possible. It's a confusing matter. I don't want to see you hurt. Your ambition is fascinating. I would not see you throw it away on ignorant, stupid moves. Your passion is impressive. I believe you already know that I think that of you, Ronald. You are driven by appetite. You are strong in spirit. Your rationale is where you lack. You are not powerful logically. And you misunderstand the dynamic of power. What you hold to be power is a paper tiger in front of a storm. Actual power is far greater. I will look into what you say. I can't be sure you're right. Maybe you are the chosen. You mustn't take this vile path. For even if you are the chosen, then it will come to no good end. If you are the chosen of Abadar and you strike on a path of evil, you will not be victorious for Abadar's efforts. Abadar himself will be thrown down as the people rise in righteous outrage.
There will come a time in the future on this long path we've embarked upon where the both of you will come to regret this conversation. Now get the fuck out of my house.
Nice. And we're going to go to break.
Wait. Before they go out, as they leave, Ronald's going to throw the jug of juice at the door as it's closing, and then pick up a bottle of alcohol and pour some for himself as it goes to black.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh my god. Yep. Okay. Let's take a 5-minute break and we'll be right back. That was intense, and that was an awesome conclusion.
That was really cool.
Thank you, Luke Crane, for this game. Thank you guys for fucking bringing it for that argument. So, all right, we'll be back.
I want to thank George Washington.
Yes, let's thank all the presidents.
I gotta run to the restroom. I'll be right back.
That was awesome, AP. What the fuck? That was so cool.
You did a pretty good job. I liked your outro speech.
Thank you.